Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be comparing the sharpness of the Sony 50mm f1.8 OSS for E-mount with one of the cheapest and most common legacy manual lenses, the Pentacon 50mm f1.8. This lens was the basic kit lens sold with many models of Prakticar 35mm SLR, and while it's far from the best 50mm vintage lens available, you can easily pick one up for less than $10 on eBay and sometimes as little as $1. So let's see how it compares to Sony's E-mount 50mm f1.8 OSS, which retails for around $250. Physically, the Pentacon appears to be a lot more compact than the Sony, but once the Prakticar to E-mount adapter is added, they are more or less the same size, with the Pentacon just a couple of millimeters longer. Moving on to image quality, here is the Sony lens at f1.8, and here's an image from the Pentacon also at f1.8. Looking at the crop side by side, there's no comparison. The image from the Pentacon is very soft and the Sony is sharper by miles. Stopping down to f2.8, here's the Sony image and here's the Pentacon. Looking at the crop, the Pentacon has definitely improved, but the Sony is still obviously sharper. Stopping down again to f4, here's the Sony's image and here's the Pentacon. Now looking at the side-by-side crop, the difference is a lot narrower. The Pentacon is now almost on a par with the image from the Sony in terms of sharpness. Now at f5.6, here's the Sony image and the Pentacon. Looking at the 100% crop, the Pentacon is now actually sharper than the Sony lens, with better contrast. Finally, stopping down to f8, here's the image from the Sony lens, and here's the image from the Pentacon. Again, the Pentacon is sharper, with more detail visible and better contrast. So, while obviously the performance of the Pentacon lens wide open leaves a lot to be desired, it improves a lot by stopping down, while the Sony lens is sharp from wide open and the improvement gained by stopping down is a lot less. By f4, there's little to choose from between the two in terms of sharpness and contrast, and by f5.6, the $1 lens is clearly sharper. Obviously, the Sony lens has many other advantages that only modern lenses offer, including image stabilization, autofocus, and electronic aperture control. But if autofocus isn't important to you, or if you're mostly going to be shooting stop down, for example for landscape photography, then the Pentacon lens is definitely worth picking up, especially when you consider that it can often be bought for the price of a cup of coffee.